Hello everyone, what's new and exciting? Welcome back to Miss Belinda Services. Today I wanted to highlight another service under the Separation and Divorce Mediation Services, which is the co-parenting post-separation divorce services. So we have already highlighted how complex and emotional the process of separation and divorce can be. We've also highlighted how this can psychologically impact our functioning by way of psychosomatic symptoms and physical symptoms, also based on how one is processing grief. We highlighted the stages of grief, and if you haven't watched previous videos, I encourage you to do so. Now, having established all of that, it's without a doubt that co-parenting under those circumstances can be equally as daunting, equally as complex, and equally as emotional, if not more. Because not only are co-parents responsible for themselves and their process, but now they're responsible for the process of their children. Now, the factors that might affect parenting under these conditions could be anything from the challenges that co-parenting co-parents themselves might be experiencing with their own unresolved complex traumas, unresolved stresses, and unprocessed grief, as well as challenges that they might have communicating with each other effectively, and how all of this will trickle and impact the functioning of their children. So, how would this breakdown impact children? Well, with co parenting under these stressful conditions, there's usually a disruption of the family. Children will observe how parents are processing their own issues under this disruption, under this disconnection, under this lack of effective communication, and they break it down into processing it as their fault. They will internalize their parents' breakdowns. They will internalize and watch how their parents are processing these issues and internalize that to mean something that they may be doing wrong. So as they witness the parents' stresses, as they witness the breakdown and the trauma, it affects them. And it affects them in so many ways. It affects them psychologically, just as it does affect adults, and we've gone through the psychological impact. So imagine that on children as well. It affects children emotionally because they might not be able to process what their feelings truly are. So they will exhibit emotional symptoms, whether anything from anxiety all the way down through depression. You know, it does affect them also academically. This is when you will find children falling through the cracks, like we say, unable to focus, unable to assimilate or absorb what they're being taught. They fall behind. And that also brings on other issues. So they're falling behind academically. It's probably impacting self-worth and self-esteem and self-efficacy. And then that can roll into the social issues that they would experience, not only in an academic setting, but also in the community. Because depending on the age of the child, they might experience things like bullying. If they have their own self-esteem and self-worth issues, their self-doubt, self-inadequacies that shows up, socially with their friends. They don't feel like they belong. They have self-esteem issues. They either become bullies or they are bullied, right? So, and then depending on the age as well, it could become legal issues with children that we would refer to we would refer to as of sufficient age and maturity, where they will have legal issues in the community based on disruptive behaviors. So the list goes on and on and on of how, when issues that create a disruption in a family are not appropriately resolved, how this can impact the functioning of children. So most children will have questions that are unanswered because parents themselves do not have the answers to those questions, which falls back to how important it is for parents themselves to seek their support so that they will be in a better place and have better functioning in order to support their children as well. So without the support, without clarity, without processing their own unresolved issues, all of this could become the bedrock of children's own complex issues, complex traumas that they will in turn exhibit in their adult lives. So, domino effect, it's a really long process. Children deserve, just as adults do, they do deserve a safe and secure environment, regardless of what the parental decisions are. So, whereas a breakdown in communication, separation, and divorce may be inevitable for adults or for parents, it should not impact children to the degree that they become part of what I will term the statistics of what happens with children who are not supported through this process. So, co-parenting post-divorce services focuses on making decisions, assisting co-parents in making decisions that are in the best interest of the children. Issues that are processed during these services, anywhere from custody agreements, which highlights who makes life decisions when it comes to the children, who is delegated to make what specific decision regarding the children, because we break children up into two separate ages. We have the minor children, and we have children of sufficient age and maturity. So the needs of children during this process is not the same. So all of that is put into consideration to determine what would be the custody agreements, what would be the financial agreements, how are children going to be supported through this process, and also, most importantly, developing a parenting plan. I believe that having a parenting plan, which is pretty much like a blueprint or a template of who's responsible for the kids on what day, as simple as that, creates a sense of safety and security. It creates a sense of stability, and it does provide structure and consistency, which are all necessary elements that help children to develop and to progress appropriately. So this is just a brief cap. I'm sure I will be back with another video answering questions. If you have any, feel free to drop a message on the website, MissBelindaServices.com, through email, MissBelindaServices@gmail.com, and on any of our handles at Miss.BelindaServices. Once again, thank you for watching and have a good one. Bye-bye.